All right, let's do this. Oh, by the way, do you like this dress? Well, I made it, so that's pretty cool. Okay, so today I thought I would sit down and first of all say hello and welcome to all the new people. I've had a ton of subscribers in the past month or so. It's been kind of insane. So hello and welcome. Thank you for being here. My name is Carrie. I make videos on vintage style, focusing on 1930s fashion and glamour on a budget. And it's this last point that I want to touch on today. We're going to have a little chit chat, a little screen to screen time, so to speak. So I wanted to talk about how I've been for this past year or so, or maybe 8 to 9 months. I've been getting back into vintage style and style community and evaluating what I want. I've begun to set some new goals for myself for the rest of the year, for next year, and hopefully on a continuum going forward. This is also partially influenced by the fact that, as I mentioned once before, I'm turning 30 at the end of the year. My birthday's in December, and I'm also looking ahead into the next decade of my life and reflecting back on my 20s and seeing kind of what I want to do differently. And one goal that came out of this reflecting is obviously this channel, and I've been really happy with that and enjoying the process of creating here on YouTube for all of you. And the other goal that I've set sort of quietly on my own is something that I'm just starting to get into and that I'm going to share with you today. Basically, I want to sew most of my own clothes. And this is, partially inspired by different creators in the vintage style and history bounding sort of space here on YouTube. Why have I decided to pursue this goal and build a practice around creating my own clothes? Well, first of all is that, I enjoy sewing. And I've also come to realize, as I'm sort of honing in on my own sense of style, that sewing most of my own clothes is going to be the most practical and also the most economical way to achieve my style goals, right? Because, as I've mentioned in my first video, which I'll link somewhere, it's hard to find 1930s inspired pieces. The other reason that I have for doing this is I want to unlearn a lot of the, or most, if not all of the spending and the shopping habits that I developed throughout my, I would say maybe late teens, but let's just say my 20s. Basically, for the past decade, I had a not so healthy relationship to shopping and money just in general. And if you are in a situation where deep down that you're over consuming, as I was over consuming definitely, if you're in that kind of situation, there are a ton of creators that are on YouTube and elsewhere talking about this particular issue, and you're not alone in any sense. And I will link a playlist of people who I've found really inspirational for acknowledging and beginning to change my own consumption habits and, in a larger sense, my own relationship to spending and consuming and all of that stuff. And that will be a video that I do want to do eventually, just not right now. But basically, I think sewing my own clothes will help me to unlearn a lot of compulsive and consumption habits, basically. Lastly, I want to finally align my spending and my money with the values that I have and that I articulate in the world. And I think sometimes, we can feel this kind of inner tension or this sense of a lack of continuity or a lack of authenticity when, the way that we're acting in various spheres in our lives isn't lining up, with what we feel or what we know to be important or what we, espouse or what we say we believe or what we actually believe. And I feel like in the realm of style and particularly in the realm of consumption, And again, spending, relationships to money, I have not been living my values for a long time. And so I hope that, and I sort of know, but I hope that sewing most of my own clothes, and when I'm not able to do that, commissioning and working with small creators or shopping from, small vintage style brands will help me to align with my values. So, for instance, centering creativity over consumption and supporting individual makers and small brands. And lastly, focusing on living more within a circular economy and reusing as many resources as possible. I think starting to do all of those things, and while acknowledging, not to let perfection be the enemy of good, I think that all of those things will help me align, and the process of sewing my own clothes will help me align, the capital that I do have, limited though it is, with the values that I also share. So in terms of specifics, I should also say that I'll be sewing mainly dresses and unstructured outerwear, because I know that these are items that I can make. Okay, I'm not going to be doing really tailored pieces and things that I know are beyond my skill level. And for dresses for fall, I would like to have maybe 4 or 5 lightweight dresses with longer sleeves, and those will be primarily work dresses. Ideally, 5 dresses, so 1 dress per work day is a goal. And then similarly for winter, I would want maybe 3 to 4 mid-weight dresses, with the idea that I tend to wear pants and tops more in winter. So first the winter wardrobe with, pants and tops and that kind of thing. So, and then I'm thinking 2 jackets, ideally a brown jacket and a black jacket, again, unstructured. And then I've finished a brown duster coat just in time for summer. So I will want to make a similar coat in a black, probably like a cotton twill, mid to heavyweight cotton twill for that piece. And then, so those are all the things that I'll be making myself. I may want to commission Rebecca from Bespoke Vintage. I'll link her work down below. She's made a couple of things for me in the past, and I may want to commission her for 2 other items, specifically a long sleeve nightgown for winter, and then also, depending on how much it costs and what my budget looks like at the end of next year, or at the end of this year, early next year, I may ask her to make me my dream winter 1930s coat. It would be like a blue wool coat with maybe a faux fur collar. I've been dreaming of this kind of coat from this specific pattern for probably 7 years. So what better way to welcome, to enter my 30s than wrapped in a fabulous piece of outerwear. So anyway, that might be something I'll do depending on cost. But yeah, those are the specifics. Okay, so for this video, I'm going to be focusing on planning my fall-winter sewing wardrobe. And I know there are different ways people do this. I like the idea of mood boards, and I do have a Pinterest. But for me, what I really find the most helpful is basically to create a scrapbook. And so that's what I'll be creating today. I really like this method because it's very tactile, and to me there's something that just sort of gets the creative energy flowing when you're working and touching, tangible objects, working with actual materials as opposed to, saving and reorganizing your pins. I've looked at all the patterns that I have, and I've printed out the illustrations for all the patterns, and I've gathered those pictures, those illustrations with fabric scraps and fabric samples, and I'm going to be just playing around with these materials and seeing kind of what is speaking to me in terms of what I could possibly sew, and just kind of brainstorming my options. So, and then putting them together into a place that I can reference and look back on and edit as I go forward with this project. So that's what we'll be doing. I hope, this project and my process will be useful to you. Let me know if you have any fall/winter sewing plans, and let me know in the comments. Also, feel free to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell thing, because I've been forgetting to say that to people in my videos. So yeah, please subscribe for more content, and let's get right on into the mood board project. Okay, so I've laid out all the fabric that I currently have. I thought it would be useful both for you and I to see what we got going on. The general order of things is here. Oh, yeah, look at them. Oh my gosh. Okay. The general order is we have this column here being sort of outerwear fabric. This I'm thinking to use for the duster coat. This I have some left over that could make a good jacket. This could also make a jacket. And yeah, so we have sort of jackets, outerwear in this column. And then we go on to the mid-weight sort of winter dress fabric. So I think this will make a beautiful piece. Blue mid-weight cotton sateen for mood. Hashtag not sponsored. And then this fabric, this and then this I bought to use as like accent or trim. This could be black dress. I'm sure, once I start doing mock-ups and seeing how structured and unstructured these patterns actually are, I may change what fabric to use for what project. But basically this would be, these two would be winter dresses, and then this is kind of just a placeholder, but some type of lightweight or lighter weight cotton, black cotton, I think would make a good dress. This fabric I love. It's the Peony lightweight stretch. I think it's cotton sateen for mood. I've used this in a couple projects, and I think this would be great for a early fall dress when it's still kind of warm, but you want something maybe with long sleeves. This will do very nicely. And then I'm going to use this fabric again because it has quickly turned into one of my favorite patterns, and I made a dress about a month ago that I really love in this pattern, so I think this would be great to have as a long sleeve option. And then this is what I'm probably most trepidatious about. This is a polyester fabric I got from Joann's, and mostly for the color, this beautiful kind of rust orange color, which is hard to find. And I thought it was a viscose initially because it has this really lightweight feel. It doesn't feel like polyester, but I got it for the color and also the pattern. I've never worked with something this lightweight and slippery, so this is going to be interesting. You can see that it's already starting to fray, so I'm not exactly sure how this will go. This could be a big pain in the butt, but I figured it's worth giving, it's worth trying, whatever. And then this is a viscose fabric that I am not going to be using myself. I think I will commission Rebecca to make a winter nightgown for me out of this fabric, but I'm keeping it safely tucked away. It's really beautiful. I'll link the shop where I got this fabric. It's a shop on Etsy. But yeah, so far, this is what we got to work with.